At first glance, Dubai looks like fantasy money made real. No taxes, no chaos, gold, glass, speed, perfect service. But look closer, and the whole thing narrows to one family, one command structure, one image that has to stay polished. Dubai didn't just build towers. It built a system where power and business sit in the same hands. And when that image cracks, people don't just lose money, some lose freedom. Dubai began with a break. In 1833, members of the Al Bufalasa branch left Abu Dhabi after a violent dispute and moved north to a small Creek settlement. They weren't walking into wealth, they were picking survival. The place was small, poor, and exposed. But the creek gave shelter to boats and access to trade routes linking the Gulf to India, Persia, and East Africa. That was enough. So the Al Maktoums learned early that if Dubai couldn't dominate by force, it had to stay useful. Keep traders safe, settle disputes fast, keep goods moving. That shaped the whole system. The family didn't build legitimacy through elections or broad institutions. It built it through protection, access, and loyalty. British maritime control later made the waters safer, which helped trade grow and fit neatly with that style of rule. By the late 19th century, Dubai was still small, but it had found its edge: flexibility. The rulers adapted fast because they had no choice. Long before the skyline, the model was already there. Central authority at the top, commerce at the center, loyalty holding it together. In 1894, Sheikh Maktoum bin Hasher cut customs duties and turned Dubai into a low-cost trading port. It sounds like policy. It was survival. Dubai couldn't beat bigger rivals by size, so it beat them on price and speed. Merchants came in, especially from Persia. They brought money, shipping links, and influence. Along the creek, warehouses filled, markets grew, and Dubai started winning by being cheaper, looser, and faster than its neighbors. Then pearls took over. By the early 1900s, pearling drove the economy. Then Japanese cultured pearls crushed prices, and the whole system buckled. That collapse triggered a political test. In 1938, merchants pushed for a majlis, a council that would share control over spending and policy. Sheikh Saeed accepted it at first, but once the council started pressing against family authority, the opening closed. In 1939, violence wiped out the challenge. The majlis fell. Its leaders were killed, exiled, or forced aside, and Al Maktoum control stayed intact. That was the limit of Dubai's openness. Trade could stay flexible, power could not. So the pattern was visible early. Invite capital, welcome merchants, move fast, but never let any of it become a real check on the family. Then another question hit. Pearls were gone. Reform had failed. What if oil never came? By the time Sheikh Rashid bin Saeed took power in 1958, Dubai was still exposed. Pearls were gone. Oil still hadn't rescued the city. And the creek was silting up so badly that larger ships struggled to enter. If that channel failed, Dubai lost relevance. So Rashid borrowed money from Kuwait and ordered the creek dredged. No big oil income, no guaranteed payoff, just a ruler betting borrowed money on mud and ship access because he knew trade lived or died on logistics. The gamble worked. Larger vessels came back. Cargo moved faster. Confidence returned. Rashid didn't wait for Dubai to get rich and then build. He built first and tried to pull wealth in after. That became his style. He treated Dubai less like a court and more like a machine. Ports, roads, airports, all of it had one job: make the city hard to bypass. Another stream of money helped too. When India tightened gold imports in 1962, Dubai became a major transit point for that demand. Some of the trade was legal, some of it slipped into the shadows, but the effect was the same. Money moved through the city, and the leadership learned to think in terms of flow. Then Britain pulled back from the Gulf. Rashid worked with Sheikh Zayed to back federation, and in 1971, the UAE was formed. Dubai kept local control inside a larger political shield. Oil finally arrived in the late 1960s, but Dubai's reserves were modest next to Abu Dhabi's. Rashid understood what that meant. Oil couldn't be the identity. It had to be fuel for ports, trade, and expansion. That's why Dubai under Rashid starts to feel less like a normal state and more like an operating system. Decisions moved from the top. Speed mattered more than consultation. His son would take that logic and push it much further. When Rashid's health began to fail, Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum was already moving into the center of power. He had built a reputation as the man who could push projects through fast. He wasn't just inheriting a city, he was inheriting a method, and he saw it could scale far beyond the Gulf. In 1985, Emirates Airline launched with state backing and an open skies strategy. The same year, the Jebel Ali Free Zone opened beside the port, giving foreign firms tax advantages, lighter customs treatment, and unusual freedom for the region. Dubai was selling speed. That part matters because Dubai wasn't pitching oil wealth the way Abu Dhabi could. It was pitching access. A company could land goods, clear customs, set up an office, hire staff, move money, and get decisions quicker than in most of the region. That sounds normal now. Back then, it felt radical. A lot of states still treated foreign capital with suspicion. Dubai treated it like oxygen. Then Mohammed pushed even harder into image. Burj Al Arab, Palm Jumeirah, the financial center, media and tech zones, and foreign property ownership all helped turn the city into something more than a trading hub. Dubai became a product. And the product had layers. First came logistics. Ports, airports, warehousing, shipping lanes. Then came legal packaging. Free zones with their own rules. Then came spectacle. Hotels shaped like sails. Islands shaped like palms. Towers built less to solve housing shortages than to send a signal. This place moves faster than the map says it should. That signal worked. Airlines opened routes because passengers were coming. Banks opened offices because capital was coming. Property speculators arrived because prices were rising. Consultants, engineers, architects, retail chains, private schools, luxury brands, all of them followed the same logic. Dubai created a machine that could turn attention into demand, and demand into land values. But few people realized that the machine only looked private from a distance. Up close, it was deeply political. State entities launched projects. State-linked firms financed them. Family-linked holding groups sat near the center of the action. Land allocation, regulation, infrastructure spending, debt issuance, and branding all moved through overlapping circles. In a liberal market, those functions get split up. In Dubai, they often sat close together. That closeness created speed. If leadership wanted a new district, the land could be assigned, roads could be planned, financing could be lined up, and promotion could begin almost at once. There were fewer veto points, no elections to survive, no local councils slowing approvals, no opposition press building months of resistance. The same system that kept politics narrow made business execution brutally fast. And here's where it gets real. Speed itself became the sales pitch. Investors weren't just buying villas or office towers. They were buying faith in centralized competence. They were betting that one command structure could keep solving every problem before the market noticed there had been one. That faith shaped everything. Emirates Airline didn't just fly passengers. It fed hotels, shopping, conferences, real estate, and the wider brand. Jebel Ali didn't just handle cargo. It fed industrial tenants, trade flows, and customs revenues. The airport, the airline, the port, the free zone, the property market, and the image campaign all reinforced each other. Dubai wasn't building isolated projects, it was building loops. The ruler's circle also understood something older than finance. Attention changes behavior. If the world sees a place as rising, more money arrives. More money funds more building. More building creates stronger images. Stronger images pull in more money. The cycle can feel endless, right up until it isn't. And that was the built-in risk. The state launched projects. State-linked firms financed them. Family-linked entities gained from the land, the infrastructure, and the companies driving the expansion. In Dubai, regulator, owner, planner, and promoter often sat in the same circle. That made decisions fast. It also pushed risk upward. It also blurred accountability. If a project worked, the model looked brilliant. If a project failed, who exactly carried the loss? A ministry? A state company? A family-linked developer? A holding company with government ties but commercial language? The lines could stay fuzzy when money was flowing. They got much sharper when the mood turned. To investors, the pitch looked irresistible. No messy politics, no slow bargaining, just delivery. As long as prices rose and debt stayed cheap, the system looked brilliant. Then the bill arrived. Then 2008 hit, and Dubai ran into a problem money couldn't charm away. For years, the boom had been fed by borrowing through state-linked firms, property developers, and investment arms tied to the government's bigger vision. As long as confidence held, the structure looked unstoppable. We all fall down at some point. The question is, will you get back up? But confidence can vanish fast. By the mid-2000s, Dubai's playbook had become easy to describe and hard to stop. Borrow heavily. Build aggressively. Sell the future before it arrived. Use rising land prices and outside demand to support the next wave. If one district sold out, announce another. If one tower grabbed headlines, plan a taller one. If one island looked impossible, sketch an even stranger one. That worked because global money was loose and hungry. Interest rates had been low. Credit was easy. Investors wanted yield, glamour, and growth. Dubai offered all three with almost cinematic clarity. It looked clean. It looked ordered. It looked like a place where the ruler could simply decide and the city would obey. But leverage changes the mood of a boom. It makes every success feel larger and every mistake feel closer to the center. Projects weren't just expensive, they were interconnected. If buyers slowed, developers strained. If developers strained, lenders worried. If lenders worried, refinancing costs rose. And because so much of Dubai's boom sat inside state-linked or quasi-state structures, a financial problem could quickly start looking political. When Lehman Brothers collapsed in September 2008, credit dried up, real estate cooled, financing tightened. Projects that looked solid suddenly looked exposed because so much of the expansion rested on leverage. This is the part that strips away the shine. Dubai had marketed certainty, yet behind that certainty sat a giant rollover machine, always needing refinancing, always assuming markets would stay open long enough for the next sale, the next bond issue, the next state-backed reassurance. When global liquidity froze, that assumption died. By late 2009, the pressure reached the center. Dubai World asked for a standstill on debt repayments, and global markets jolted. Construction slowed. Property prices fell. Some expatriates left. The image of abandoned luxury cars at Dubai Airport turned into a symbol of the panic. That image stuck because it fit the whole era in one frame. Fast wealth, fast debt, fast exit. Workers and professionals who had arrived for upside were suddenly looking at liabilities they couldn't carry. Developers halted projects. Contractors waited on payments. Banks repriced risk. The machine that had looked frictionless started grinding in public. For Sheikh Mohammed, this cut into the whole Dubai story. The city had sold speed, competence, and control. But debt doesn't care about branding. And the business problem went deeper than a property slump. The crisis exposed how much Dubai depended on confidence in a single governing model. Investors had trusted not only individual projects, but the command system itself. They believed the ruler's circle could coordinate capital, land, and timing better than slower states could. Once that confidence cracked, every glossy promise had to be tested again. The rescue came from Abu Dhabi. In December 2009, it provided a $10 billion bailout through the UAE Central Bank, enough to stop a much worse breakdown. That message stuck. Dubai's slick business machine had needed its richer neighbor to step in. That bailout did more than save balance sheets. It reset the power picture inside the federation. Dubai still had the brand, the ports, the skyline, the global buzz. Abu Dhabi had the oil cushion and the deeper reserve of cash. So the emirate that had sold itself as the region's purest story of self-made momentum had to accept public rescue from the neighbor it had always looked different from. The irony got fixed into the skyline weeks later. When the world's tallest tower opened in January 2010, it was named Burj Khalifa, not Burj Dubai. That name change felt ceremonial, but it was also a marker of dependence. The tower still rose over downtown like a declaration of will. Yet the final name reminded everyone who had steadied the system when the debt spiral got too close to the core. Dubai recovered. It adjusted. Projects resumed. Tourism came back. Trade flows kept moving. Property would surge again in later years. But the crash exposed what sat under the shine. A centralized system built on debt, reputation, and belief in family control. Once that cracked, another risk came into view. Financial pressure wasn't the only thing concentrated at the top. For years, Sheikh Mohammed sold a tightly managed image to the world. Builder, modernizer, poet ruler. That image helped reassure investors and governments that Dubai's concentrated system was orderly and safe to trust. But then the family story stopped staying private. In March 2020, a British court found, on the balance of probabilities, that Sheikh Mohammed had ordered the abduction of two of his daughters, Shamsa and Latifa, and had carried out a campaign of intimidation against Princess Haya after she fled to the United Kingdom with their children. That mattered because it came from a high court judge in England, not gossip or online rumor. Once those findings entered the public record, the damage went beyond family reputation. It hit the same claim Dubai had always sold, that power at the top was disciplined and predictable. Start with Shamsa. In 2000, she fled the family's estate in Surrey and disappeared from Cambridge. The allegation was not that she simply returned home after a family dispute. The court accepted that she was seized and taken back to Dubai. Think about what that means for a second. Not a domestic argument hidden behind palace walls. An operation reaching into Britain, removing an adult woman from a public street and carrying her out of the country. Then there was Latifa. In 2018, she tried to escape Dubai by sea. Her attempt looked almost unbelievable because it carried the desperation of someone who believed normal exits were closed. She boarded a yacht, hoping to reach safety. Instead, armed men intercepted the vessel off the coast of India and returned her to Dubai. Later, secret videos emerged in which Latifa described herself as being held in a villa she called a jail, guarded, isolated, and afraid. That sequence changed the story because it introduced something the Dubai brand hates: uncontrollable evidence. Not a rumor, not a second-hand accusation. Her own recorded words, her face, her voice, her claim that she feared she would never be free. Then in 2021, BBC Panorama aired secret videos from Latifa. She described enforced detention in Dubai and said she feared for her life. Dubai pushed back and said she was being cared for by family. But by then, the image problem had widened, and the image problem became a governance problem, because investors don't separate politics from private conduct as neatly as rulers hope. If the same small circle controls security, intelligence, state messaging, courts, economic policy, and family power, then private scandal tells you something about public power too. You can't market a leadership model as efficient and rules-based, then ask the world to ignore findings that suggest personal authority can overrun legal norms whenever family control feels threatened. Princess Haya made that contradiction impossible to contain. She wasn't an anonymous critic or a dissident on the margins. She was the wife of Sheikh Mohammed, the daughter of Jordan's late King Hussein, and someone with deep international standing. When she fled to the United Kingdom with their children and sought protection in court, the dispute moved into a legal system beyond Dubai's direct reach. What emerged was ugly. The UK court found that Sheikh Mohammed had pursued a campaign of intimidation against her. The details made it feel less like a royal separation and more like a cross-border pressure operation. Threats, fear, a relentless attempt to bring a family conflict back under his control. That mattered at a business level too. Dubai had long relied on London as a place where wealth, legitimacy, and elite networks overlapped. Property, law firms, schools, diplomacy, image management, all of that connected the Gulf to Britain. So when a British court publicly described coercive conduct by the ruler of Dubai, it didn't stay inside the gossip pages. It entered the same elite ecosystem that had helped make Dubai investable. It widened again when the UK High Court ruled in 2021 that phones belonging to Princess Haya, her lawyers, her assistant, and members of her security team had been hacked with Pegasus spyware. The court said it had been done with the express or implied authority of Sheikh Mohammed. He denied knowledge of the hacking. That finding was explosive because Pegasus isn't casual surveillance. It's the kind of spyware associated with state-grade intrusion. If your phone is penetrated by something like that, your messages, calls, notes, photos, movements, and legal strategy can all become visible. And the court didn't say some random actor on the internet did it. The ruling tied the hacking to power very close to the top. So now think about the pattern as outsiders would see it. One daughter disappears after fleeing in England. Another is taken back after trying to escape by yacht. A royal wife flees abroad. Her phones and the phones around her legal team get hacked. British judges issue findings against one of the world's most carefully branded rulers. This wasn't one bad headline, it was a chain. And what made everything change was the way those stories connected back to the governing model. In a system with stronger institutional distance, a ruler's family scandal might remain partly personal. In Dubai, where state and dynasty are intertwined, personal conduct becomes a stress test for the political design itself. That's the darker connection running through this story. The same top-down command style that helped Dubai move fast in business appears again in private scandal, only without the glamour. The question isn't whether Dubai works. It's what this kind of system costs when power reaches into every corner of life. So what is Dubai, really? It's not a democracy, and it's not just an old monarchy in modern clothes. Dubai works like a corporate monarchy. Power sits at the top. Decisions move down fast. And the ruler's promise is delivery. That promise has appeal. Projects move. Rules shift when leadership wants growth. Investors get speed. Residents get order. But the trade is clear. You can benefit from the system without getting to shape it. There are no democratic institutions that can seriously challenge the ruler, and internal dissent faces tight limits. And that's why the model can feel so seductive from the outside. In many countries, investors have to guess which coalition survives, which minister gets replaced, which election scrambles the regulatory map. In Dubai, the signal feels cleaner. One family stays in command. The strategic story barely changes. Ports keep expanding. Aviation keeps growing. Real estate keeps reinventing the skyline. The message stays consistent because the command structure stays consistent. But consistency isn't the same as accountability. A corporation can replace a chief executive. Shareholders can sue. Courts can force disclosures. Governments with strong institutions can lose elections. In Dubai, those boundaries are much softer because the same ruling family can sit above the state, inside the state, and through the economy at the same time. Dubai's economy widened far beyond oil. Trade, tourism, logistics, finance, aviation, and property now carry the story. But the political structure stayed narrow. Most of the workforce is expatriate too, which makes the city energetic, ambitious, and highly transactional. That labor reality matters. The city runs on outsiders. Professionals, builders, drivers, bankers, domestic workers, engineers, retail staff, consultants, pilots, traders. They come for wages, opportunity, and safety. But most of them do not belong politically. They help build the machine without getting a say in how it is governed. So the city can look global, while power remains deeply concentrated. And behind all of it sits the same question. Where does the state end and the family begin? In Dubai, that line is hard to see. The ruling family shapes policy, controls land, directs flagship companies, and manages the public image of the emirate at the same time. That can produce stunning coordination. It can also hide conflict. It can also distort risk. If the same circle writes the plan, benefits from the upside, manages the messaging, and disciplines dissent, then warning signs may arrive late. People inside the system have strong reasons to protect confidence. People outside the system have limited ways to challenge it. That's great for momentum. It's dangerous for correction. So the edge Dubai built is real. Centralized command let it move fast. But the same design creates a single point of failure. If trust in the family weakens, the whole model feels less certain because owner, manager, and referee all sit in the same place. And that is the dark truth under the polished glass. Dubai did not rise by separating power from wealth. It rose by fusing them. The city became efficient because authority stayed concentrated. It became investable because that concentration looked disciplined. But when scandal, debt, or coercion breaks into view, the same concentration turns from strength into exposure. Dubai rose because one family ran power like a business, and business like an extension of power, building huge wealth while keeping control tightly sealed. The towers, the ports, the airline, the islands, all of it came from a system that could move faster than rivals. Because almost no one at the top had to ask permission, that speed built one of the most successful city brands on earth. It also left almost no space between public power and private will. So when the image slips, the whole model gets harder to separate from the family behind it. If you want more stories about dynasties, money, and the systems hiding behind global success, subscribe now.